Thanks everyone for attending the meeting. This is Double GDP's sprint update for sprint ending September 30th. At Double GDP, we're building an end-to-end platform for cities to connect with residents, accelerate growth, and deliver responsive public services. In this sprint, we hit a weekly active users target of 1,503 users, which is a big accomplishment for the team. We're starting to figure out what really resonates with our customers, what kind of updates they appreciate, and we're really starting to reap the benefits of that. We helped Inkwashi launch their new leasing product by partnering with them in how we will capture the leads and market to them once the leads are captured. That's like the primary area that we focused on and on early partnerships in that space. And then in product, we've launched new capabilities in campaign management, task management, and community engagement. We had also planned to work on some stories around client relationship management, but had to deprioritize those as we decided to help Inkwashi with the leasing product launch and had to reprioritize some of the stories based on that. So what we accomplished and what we actually accomplished in the sprint was on community engagement. We made updates to the discussion boards. We fixed some functionality in our news posts, and then we launched a new rewards and recognitions program, which Inkwashi is also really excited about. And we're really trying to leverage the rewards program to spread more community awareness. So getting people to really share posts and engage with the Inkwashi brand. We launched new functionality in some new functionality in client relationship management around just cleanup of how the filters work, how we are able to search for users, and the workflow of there was a user experience flow that was broken, which would always take you back to the landing page. So we started to fix that, starting with the logbook. And we launched new capability in task management. So we had, we now can link the message that created the task directly within the task. We have added editability for tasks and cleaned up some of the task dashboard and have started to create more auto tasks from the logbook. Some other functionality that we worked on is tasks. There were a few bugs and operational requests that had come through on fixing what numbers are displayed on the welcome and support page, uploading new prospects, removing redundant fields. And then one of the more important requests was adding the leasing option form to the platform. So that is, those were some of the other things that we've had to prioritize during the sprint. In the next sprint, we are planning to reach weekly active users, 1,600 weekly active users, and really targeting product areas of CRM and sales enablement. So enrolling contacts in bulk, which we are starting to see as an important use case emerging. Adding more fields to users. So a lot of the current fields are captured in Google Forms, and we need the ability to be able to actually import those into our own system. So that's the second area that we are planning to work on, and enabling more better forms integration of some sort. So not just using Google Forms, because Forms is becoming a big use case as well. On community engagement, we are going to be adding more ways to track and gain points, and actually launching the rewards and recognitions program in this sprint, and then fixing some areas of news capability. And then lastly, we are planning to launch a very simple use case on the payment side to at least send a payment request to another user, and hoping to continue assisting Inkwashi with their product launch. With that, I'll hand it over to Nicholas for his sprint update.
Hi, so we had a very good sprint this session. We basically committed 29 merge requests, which is a 26% increase from the previous sprint, which was at 23. We also had In the sprint, we had 36 issues or 36 stories, which is an 80% increase from the previous sprint. And we, out of those 36, we actually completed 28. And a lot of those ones that are still open are actually almost completed. They just could not be pushed to production just yet. But basically, we completed 40% more stories than the previous sprint, which is wonderful. Granted, we had an extra engineer, Noureddin, but overall, even with Noureddin added on top of the development team, it's 40% more output. We have 8 open issues left, which is basically a 33% increase from the previous sprint. In terms of code coverage, a very notable change on the code coverage on the React side, which is a JavaScript side. We had almost an 8% increase so in coverage, which is very good from the previous sprint, which basically overall with the blended rate, it's about a 2.6% increase just for this sprint, which is very good. I think, overall it's, wonderful sprint. In terms of processes that we started on the previous sprint, at least I started, and all the other engineers, also everybody else too, started seeing a lot more engagement from not only stakeholders, but engineers felt more empowered to actually move stories from development onto the staging server. And I believe that's it. Thank you very much. And I believe the next person in line is Noureddin.
All right, cool. I'll be sharing my screen now. The first story I worked on during this sprint was terms of use for discussion boards. And if we go to discussion boards, now we have disclaimer message there. Previously that wasn't there, and we have that there now. A little design improvement will be coming out soon about this. Also, I worked on recognition and appreciation for community participation. If we look at the dashboard here, we can see some new kind of squares on this page, talking about different points a user has gotten for different activities they have carried out on the site. So we have different 10 points for referring someone. You get 10 points for when you share an article, and you get 1 point for logging, for commenting the same 1 point, and also when you read an article, you get 1 point. So as you can see here, I have a total of 197 points for my activities during this week, because this is on a weekly basis. So when I say weekly basis, I mean from Monday to Sunday, Central African time. So to quickly show us how this works, I will go through some things here. For example, if I go to, before I do that, I would like us to take note of what the point for comment is right now, which is 1 point. So if I go to a discussion, if I go to the discussion board and make a comment on a topic, for example, let's say I have a new comment here. For the father that I've made a new comment, okay, yeah. So for the fact that I've made a new comment, I should, let me make this comment. It took some time before it showed up here. So I should have now, I have a total of 198 points. And we can see that for the category of comments, we now have 2 points. So that works the same way for every other category. Another story that that I worked on that's kind of similar to this is about sharing an article. There's a category for articles shared. So if I go to the news page, and let's say I go to this article, the fact that I've clicked on this article, it means I've actually looked into this article, I've read it. So I will get an additional 1 point for reading this article. And also if I go ahead and share this article, I will have an additional 10 points. So if I click on the share button, I can share through any of these methods, talking about these icons shown here. So if I decide to share through Twitter. So I have something here, and clicking on this guy, it actually shared the article. And if I go to my dashboard now, I should have an additional 11 points, one for reading, and the other for and the other 10 for sharing. As you can see, we have 200 for the total article shared, and I have 6 points for reading an article. So that's about recognition for participation, for community participation rather. So also I made a cleanup on the task dashboard. Not really like a cleanup like that, but a way of showing an active task as a user is browsing through this page. For example, if I decide to check the tasks that are currently open, but basically what this is supposed to do is when I click on any of these card, it will highlight them, so that as you are browsing through, you know the active task you are looking into, and you will not be confused. That wasn't there before, and we have that there right now. And also we have auto alerts to clients for points. So what this is about is basically about reminding members of the community to come to the hub to check things out, so that they can increase their points, because eventually they are still going to be rewarded for the activities they are carrying out on the application. So every Thursday, an email is sent out to all the clients as a kind of reminder, and this is what the email looks like. And when a user clicks on this, it takes them back to the app. Yeah, basically, I think that's everything from my side. Olivia is going to be continuing with the demo. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thanks a lot, Nuruddin. Hi, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. All right, so I'll start from the messages side. So one issue that we worked on was to make the filtering on messages to be easier, so that admins and CSMs can easily categorize the emails from the SMSs. So there's a filter that you can select either for SMS, just to show only SMSs, or emails, just to show you the emails that you have, and SMS and campaign, or SMS and email and non-campaign. So if I go to email and campaign, then there's nothing. Then if I go to non-campaign, then you can see the whole list that's showing. Then another thing regarding with messages I worked on was to be able to get the emails that are being sent to support@WGTP.com. So we get those emails and we synchronize them with our messages, the messages that we have in the table. So that allows the admins to see the emails within the application rather than having to go back to the email client. So that increases the connectivity between the admins of the CSMs with the users, so they can have better engagement with our users. Then we also added capability of searching using the email. So now if I search Olivier, then there's a lot of users, but if I search specifically for the email, then you can see that there is only one user that shows up. So that's because there's one user with this email, and as you can see down here. Next, we worked on synchronizing the users who have unsubscribed from SendGrid with the application. So there's some users who unsubscribed from receiving the emails, but then in the application, we still have them receive the email. So what we've done is that we synchronize the list from SendGrid with the users that we currently have, and we remove the label and when we're sending the email, we check which label, whether they are subscribed to the email or they're not subscribed, then we don't send them the email, or we send them the email when they are subscribed. Then another one was a minor fix that was showing a blank screen when you are trying to assign a task to an admin. So that was fixed. So now, as you can see, you can assign the user to a task, and that will just work fine. Then another issue that I worked on was to add a way to hide specific comments, and this is only available for admins and CSMs. So if in case there's any comment that they don't like, they can just come and hide it. So there's a confirmation that asks whether you're really sure to delete this comment, and after that you can choose to delete it, then to disappear from the discussion. Then another one was to add the Nkwashi contacts on the support page. So this helps to let users know who they can directly contact. Yeah, and the other one is also to add both the contacts for the Nkwashi clients, the client support, to add their contacts on the welcome page, and also the form to apply for the lease housing that was recently announced. So we added a button of to easily allow the users to fill in the form. Then the last one was to fix the issue that was on posts that were coming from WordPress that they had some characters which were not properly being interpreted by browsers. So there would be weird characters that were not properly read. So for example, like this Q&A would show in an encoded way that wasn't readable to the users. So we fixed that to make sure that users can see the correct thing that they're supposed to see. I believe that's it from my side. Thanks a lot for watching. I hand over to Tolu to demo his next features. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks, Olivier. Yeah, so this is the continuation of our sprint update. So this sprint, I worked on redesigning the Nkwashi news page. So initially, we have a news page where we have a list of all the news, but we want to improve some user experience as regard the news page. So we are setting the post page as the landing page for the news page. So which is basically what I worked on. So we have, so whenever a user tries to go to our news page, they will be able to view all the posts. Then they can also filter several posts that we have. They have the policy, we have the active in residence categories, and several, we also have the resources. Yeah, so basically we did this so that we'll be able to improve the user experience, and we'll be able to increase the engagements that of our users on our news page. Also, I worked on improving the user experience flow on the logbook. So initially, whenever our CSM or an admin is going through the logbook, and they try to they click on more details, and whenever they're trying to go back, it redirects them back to the landing page. So we felt that is going to be causing some issues, because the user had to click on the logbook again in order to continue what they're doing. So we improved the UX flow, and so whenever a user tries to move away from the logbook, whenever they try to come back, we redirect them back to where at the exact point they are. Yeah. Also, we also worked on the ability of only an admin to be able to create a discussion. So we noticed that So we re-implemented the way discussion topics and the way we create discussion topics. So we prevented other users to be able to create discussion topics, and we limited to only the admin. So right now, only an admin can create a discussion topic. So right now, I'm logged in as an admin. Right. So I'm going to right here. I'm logged in as as just an ordinary user. So you can see that there is no create button here. So we added that functionality in order to control the way users participates in our discussion board. Yeah. Also, we worked on whenever we are creating an entry request, right? And we have we are trying to log a prospective user in. So we want to create we are creating a task for our CSMs. So basically for Ekwashi, the CSM is Mutale. So whenever a guard or anyone is trying to log a user in, and the user happens to be a prospective client, so we are creating a task for Mutale. So as I've created this now, Mutale will receive a notification that a prospective client has been logged in. So Mutale will be able to follow up on the prospective client. Yeah, so we created that functionality. Also, so on the task page, we also noticed that the way our CSM tries to follow up on several clients, several tasks that are being sent to them is not really good. So we re-implemented so whenever a message comes in, so we provide a means for our CSM to directly link to the message that is coming in. So they don't have to click on the user profile in order to look for that message. So right now, there's a message that has been assigned to Mutale. So right here, Mutale can go straight to the message that just comes in, and Mutale can just reply to them, or anyone that is trying to assign that has been assigned that task. Yeah. Also, we also worked on so we also worked on so whenever there is a new prospective client, right, that is coming in, I like I said earlier, a new task will be created for Mutale, right? So here is a new task that has been created, and Mutale can just click on that particular the description of the task that is coming in, and she will be able to view that particular user in entry logs, so that she can actually follow up on that prospective client. Yeah. So so she can actually follow up on the prospective client. Yeah. So also we cleaned up our campaign form. Initially, we used to have this. There's an extra field on this form that states whether we want to create a draft or a scheduled campaign. So we have to remove it and we replace it with a toggle. So we don't have to stress ourselves or anyone trying to create a campaign to start selecting whether it's a draft or a schedule. So immediately you click on the draft and the schedule, you'll be able to create an appropriate campaign. Yeah, so that's it from me.
Thank you very much, everyone. I believe this concludes this engineering update.